What will tomorrow bring, and what will we miss? In 150 years, everyone watching this video will be gone. Yet the world will keep moving without us. An episode that could go very badly toward eternity. You have You can plan for this week or 10 years ahead, but the future is uncertain. Yet while it's impossible to predict the path of a human life, it's different for a whole lot of other things. Let's go on a journey to the distant futures in 10. Antares, a red supergiant, will likely explode as a supernova in 1,000 years. This star will become so bright that it will be visible in our sky even during the day. In 20,000 years, the 2,600 square kilometers around the Chernobyl power plant will be safe for humans again. In 36,000 years, the red dwarf Ross 248 will replace Alpha Centauri as the closest star to our sun. In 50,000 years, lunar tides slowing Earth's rotation will require adding 1 second to a day. Let's keep the second hand moving. In 100,000 years, the constellations won't look the same as today. The sun moves through our galaxy, causing stars to shift in the sky. The Big Dipper, the Scorpion, the Southern Cross, and other familiar constellations will appear in new shapes. 1,000,000 years from now, without maintenance, Gizeo will have been so eroded by the elements that it will become unrecognizable. On the moon, Lynn Armstrong's footprint and those of Apollo astronauts will eventually vanish due to cosmic rays and space erosion. No evidence will remain of mankind's first steps into space. Meanwhile, the red supergiant Betelgeuse will explode as a supernova. The explosion will be so violent that it will be easily visible in broad daylight and could even rival the full moon in terms of brightness. At night, a second little sun for a few weeks. Because Betelgeuse is about 640 light years away, we won't see its explosion until over 600 years after it occurs. That's how long the star's light takes to reach us. In 8 million years, there's a strong chance that Mars will end up with rings made from the remnants of its small moon Phobos as a result of tidal interactions. So much beauty that we're going to miss. In 10 million years, with the opening of the East African Rift, there will be a new ocean basin on Earth between the Horn of Africa and the rest of the continent. In 50 million years, California will split from North America as it moves north along the San Andreas Fault. The Atlantic Ocean will continue to open up and Australia will migrate northward. During this period, some volcanoes will be born, others will die. Mountains will disappear under the relentless blows of time and erosion, while others will rise up. Africa, which will collide with Eurasia, will close the Mediterranean Sea and, over time, replace it with mountains comparable in size to the Himalayas. In 250 million years, Earth's continents will merge into a supercontinent, like a giant puzzle. In 600 million years, life on Earth may face complications. If humans are still around, it would be time to consider moving out. Rising sun brightness will erode rocks more and trap more carbon dioxide in soil. Meanwhile, Earth's plate tectonics will slow and volcanic activity will fade. Without volcanoes, to recycle carbon into the atmosphere, its levels will gradually drop to the point where, for 99% of plants' photosynthesis will become impossible. In 800 million years, Earth will lose free oxygen and ozone, becoming too dry for multicellular life. In 1 billion years, the sun's brightness will be 10% higher than it is today. Earth's surface temperatures may average 47 degrees C, triggering runaway ocean evaporation. Only bacteria could survive in this hell, and from space, Earth would resemble Venus more than a blue planet. In 2 to 3 billion years, Earth's outer core will stop moving, ending the magnetic field. Without this protective shield, any hypothetical remaining life forms will be subjected to the deadly bombardment of high-energy particles coming from our sun. In 2.8 billion years, Earth's surface will hit 150 Dwani, wiping out all life. In 3.6 billion years, Triton, Neptune's moon, should disintegrate and give the gas giant rings similar to those of Saturn. And in about 4 billion years, our galaxy will collide with the Andromeda galaxy. If we looked at the sky then, this is roughly what we'd see. The merging galaxies and interacting gas clouds will create hundreds of millions of new stars, filling the sky with light. After hundreds of millions of years, the two galaxies' supermassive black holes will merge into a star billions of times the sun's mass. Magnificent. In 5 billion years after its red giant phase, the sun will appear 250 times larger in the sky. In 8 billion years, it will likely vaporize Mercury, Venus, and Earth as it expands. After expelling some of these gases, our sun will contract to become a white dwarf, producing what is called a planetary nebula in its wake. Its shape depends on a large number of parameters, but it could look like this what's up or even like this. For thousands of years, the spectacle will surely be beautiful. Ultimately, just a faint white dot, a white dwarf, will remain. The rest of the transformation of the Sun King. At this stage, the numbers will start to weigh heavily on our minds. In 100 billion years, expanding universe will make all galaxies outside our local cluster invisible to us. Crossing the cosmological horizon, they leave our observable universe, moving too fast and far, lost to us forever. At the same time, the galaxies in our local cluster will merge into a huge galaxy called Milkomeda. In 800 billion years, star formation will cease and the remaining stars will run out of fuel. All stars will eventually go out and become dark bodies. After 100 trillion years, we will enter the era of the Great Chill. The universe is getting colder and colder, the sky is pitch black, and the cold, dead stars have become black dwarfs. Sometimes an explosion lights up Milkomeda's sky when two rare, extinct stars collide and reignite. Only about 100 stars shine on average in the giant galaxy. In a quadrillion years, gravitational disturbances will cause planets to leave their orbits and drift through the cosmos. Most dead stars will eventually be ejected from the galaxy and drift through interstellar space. The supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy will absorb the remaining stars that fall into it. It will be the scene of gigantic explosions of matter and radiation. At this stage, in a cold and terribly dark universe, two scenarios are possible. Both rely on the proton, which physicists think is unstable over long periods. If the proton is unstable, it decays over varying periods, depending on estimates. From this to that, all matter will disintegrate. Only black holes and radiation will remain in the universe. Matter will be gone, and we will have entered the black hole era. This will last from 10 to the power of 40 years to 10 to the power of 100 years, the time needed for black holes to evaporate through radiation. Hawkins, before ending their lives in cataclysmic explosions. Without stars to light up the sky, only the occasional evaporation of these celestial bodies will disturb the darkness. From then on, silence is the only thing left in the soundless void. If the proton turns out to be stable, the future of our universe will be different. The evolution of matter will be much slower and will stretch over timescales that make your head spin. Initially, all matter in the universe except neutron stars will become iron. Quantum mechanics allows an atom's nucleus to spontaneously split or fuse, changing its structure. Because iron has the most stable nucleus, matter transformations, though very rare, tend toward it. These changes will occur over unimaginably long periods, from 10 to the 500th power to 10 to the 1500th power years. The sky will be filled with cold iron black stars. To be quick, on timescales of about 10 to the 10 to the 76th power. Through quantum tunneling, iron stars become neutron stars, then collapse into black holes that eventually evaporate. Final fireworks. In this scenario, matter also vanished. Sounds depressing, but not really. When the universe hits rock bottom and the end seems near, paradoxically a new beginning becomes possible. There's a hypothesis that when the clock reaches 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 56 years, then fluctuations in vacuum energy could, through inflation, generate a new Big Bang and thus create new universes.